It was exactly 7 years ago that Hurricane Katrina smashed into New Orleans with devastating consequences. Today, much weaker Hurricane Isaac has made landfall in Louisiana. But it's wreaking havoc on the oil industry in the US and pushing up prices at the pump, as Emily Stewart reports.
As Hurricane Isaac rages across the United States Gulf Coast, oil production stands still. The Category 1 storm has closed down more than 90% of production in the Gulf of Mexico, and companies have evacuated almost 350 offshore platforms.
We've been getting ready for this storm for days. We've got response teams and supplies in place.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's deadliest oil accident killed 48 people, and the subsequent blaze has only just been brought under control. Both disasters have hit refinery operations on the US Gulf Coast and helped push up fuel prices.
Countries that are members of the International Energy Agency have stockpiles of oil to use in short-term crisis situations. They were used very effectively with Hurricane Katrina in the US a few years ago.
But it's tensions with the second largest oil producer, Iran, which are causing the most concern about supply. The European Union and the United States placed sanctions on Iran several months ago due to concerns about nuclear arms. And overnight, the group of 7 leading industrialised countries urged oil producers to increase their output.
Currently, Brent, which is the most common oil quoted now internationally, is $114 a barrel. These prices are some of the highest over the last few years, although they're not the highest. The highest was about getting close to $150 back in 2008.
The high prices mean it's a good time to be an oil producer. Small Australian outfit, Rock Oil, posted a half-year profit of almost $30 million.
Supply appears to be short, therefore the prices are tending to stay at sort of plus $100 a barrel.
Chief Executive Alan Lynn says the company produces around 6,000 barrels a day and receives around $118 a barrel.
The larger fields and the less challenging reserves have been well developed. You're in an area now where you're looking at smaller fields, more technically challenging fields, opportunities that, whilst attractive at the right oil price, if the oil price goes much below about $80 a barrel, would cease to be economic.
These supply pressures mean Australian businesses and consumers are feeling the price pinch at the pump. Petrol stations in Darwin are charging as much as $1.62 a litre, up to $1.60 in Melbourne and $1.55 in Adelaide and Sydney. Some businesses are already struggling due to the high prices.
Particularly the airline sector, mining, transportation and hospitality and tourism, and many of these sectors are already under pressure.
And things could get worse.
If the Australian dollar depreciates, that means that oil prices in Australia would actually increase.
However, Dr Graham Bethune says in the long term, supply is assured.
All of the big increases in oil reserves now are in either North or South America, Canada, the US and also Venezuela. And that's quite important. Venezuela is a member of OPEC, but it's really swinging some of the geopolitical factors away from the Middle East and much more towards the Western Hemisphere.
And last year, world oil reserves actually increased by 19%.